What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 38 of my Total Warhammer 3 Vlad and Isabella Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Rudy has finally destroyed the vampire coast of Sartosa. They were, well, I wouldn't say quite a thorn in our side, but they were annoying ever since they declared war on us. And now they're gone and we don't have to worry about them attacking us anymore, though we do still have to worry about Icket doing annoying stuff in the background here, because he's likely headed to Myrmidons or Rafrafa or Argalis. Hard to say. He's, actually, where the heck is he moving? Maybe to Matorka? He's not going to jump over here to attack these guys because he's allied with them. Well, we'll have to figure that out and probably send Bathilda to deal with him personally, and then have to figure out where exactly Bathilda will move. Probably southward, but we shall see. We still have to destroy Moors, of course, and Moors is currently occupying both Desolation of Nagash and Nagashazar here, which would definitely be something we want to pick up. There's also the Black Pyramid of Nagash to consider. Now, the concerning thing about moving down here would be activating our vision of the Oracles of Tzeentch, and I'd rather delay dealing with their garbage for as long as possible, because as soon as we identify the oracles, we basically have to send multiple armies down there to destroy them all for good, completely and entirely, or else they'll swap our settlements around and I will just, you know, be very unhappy about it. Let's go with that. Now, before we get into anything here, we have to consider a situation. We have the possibility of now trading with the High Elves, which could eventually lead to something quite useful for us, as we would be trading with multiple of them, and that would be additional trading income. And on top of that, we don't really care about Ulthuan. Ulthuan, the entirety of it is yellow territory, and there's no real reason for us to bother with it. Plus, they are an Order faction as well. The goal is essentially to be accepted into the Shield of Civilization here. Now, Eatane is at minus 3.5 currently. Illyrian is ready to go, though I think this will change as soon as we trade with any one of them, because we just did acquire several new trade things, and we do have a limited amount of production of all of them after all. So in that light, yeah, we're already exporting 100% of our wine, for example. What did we just get? Oh, we just got we just got exotic animals out of the Hell Pit. Most of the stuff is being exported at 100%. Well, either way, I think maybe what we can do is try Eatane, but offer to join war against the Cult of Pleasure. One, we can't see the Cult of Pleasure, so we don't really care about them. And B, they're so far away, they're just out of sight and out of mind. On top of that, it wouldn't be that difficult to ally with Count Noctilus by virtue of sailing to the Galleon's graveyard and, while taking Nikolaus's stuff by forcing him to submit, essentially. Because he only has one settlement and it would be pretty easy to subjugate him, rather than bother making the entire world hate us by warring with him. So anyway, or by allying with him. You know what, let's do this. Let's ask for a little bit of cash, even though it ain't much.
As you say.
And then let's see what else we have left in the quick deal option. Now the trade, we're non-aggression pact, while Kurun is still ready to go. The other elves are no longer. Illyrian's at 2 point now, which is expected, but it ain't that bad. And our reputation with all of them should grow by virtue of our alliance with Eatane. There's also Kurun to consider. Now, they're in a defensive alliance with Reichland currently, but if we were to get a military alliance with Reichland, or with Kurun, we could probably destroy Reichland without them interfering, which might be nice as well, and would leave us to go south and just ignore these guys. Especially because I think that, while I doubt that Mousillon is going to stand up to them for long, especially now that Kemmler is gone. Of course, this will make Mousillon hate us, but, well, they're not liable to confederate anyway. We could always use recruit defeated legendary lords later on if we desire to do so. Now, you are really willing to go for the trade agreement and the non-aggression pact, eh? Vassal? Huh. Man, if only we had territory to give you, but we don't. Damn, 42 ain't that bad, or 47, but 42 with the military access, eh? Actually, wait, I swear I just saw 42, but I don't know what from. Well, either way, that's something we may want to consider later on. Now, we can also have you join war against somebody here. For example, the Cult of Pleasure, the Seducers of Slaanesh, which are on your coastline, And it might allow... You know what? That's not a bad idea. If we can force them to do... Nah, they don't want to. They don't want to. What about... Oh, whoops. I meant to click join war against, not declare war. My bad. What about Blessed Dread? No. They're probably willing to fight Nikai, but, well... Yeah. It's probably not even worth it. We'd probably just be better off getting the little bit of money that they're willing to give us. Sarl, Karakazul... Yeah. Screw it. Wait. How much money would we have to pay them in order... Nah, screw it. I was about to say, how much money would we have to pay them in order to get them to fight the Seducers of Slaanesh? But it ain't likely. Though, maybe the Cult of Pleasure once again. Join war against Cult of Pleasure. Yeah, no dice. Alright, fine. Let's do that then. Military access, etc., allied with Bretonia to some degree. And then we'll see if they're willing to go in any kind of alliance afterwards. Now... That's the trade agreements, and that will give us more money over time. I'm going to ignore the Skaven for now, even though I would like several of their things. Talzin, minus 5.6 with the military access. That ain't happening. Arguelon's nearly back to non-aggression pact. We could probably do this if we offered to fight the Bloody Hands, which we may do so soon. Now... There's several things to take care of. First of all, Mash One Finger has arrived, and he's probably going to attack Argalis. So let's summon Maldwin back onto the field. Once again. And then we should probably give him his point. He has the Unliving Host there. Let's see, we could get Cattle Herder, but honestly, with the outposts, this does start to feel a little bit unnecessary. And then why is it only one additional Sylvanian crossbowman and not one additional Sylvanian handgunner as well? I'd prefer the handgunners, that's for damn sure. They're quite a little bit more useful. Raise dead another point or make you fight better, or another point in Invocation of Nehek. Flock of Doom would be useful, but not against Mash's giant pile of boar boys. And Fell Nest wouldn't be too helpful either. Honestly, none of this is all that helpful, and we wouldn't be attacking, so Dark Pact wouldn't be very useful either. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll just get another point in Flock of Doom, although it wouldn't be helpful for this particular battle. You know what? Screw it, just Invocation of Nehek. You can never have too much Invocation of Nehek. Now, you need to be careful about over-summoning here. As in, we need to summon enough for these guys to attack us, but not so much that they... are afraid to. In that light, let's see what we got here in terms of defenses. Well, it's nothing crazy. And these guys probably aren't afraid of those units. Let's summon, let's say, 5 units of zombies. Is that too many? 4 units of zombies? It really depends on what kind of map Argalis is. If there's too many entrances, then this is much more problematic. Let's go 5 units of zombies. Hopefully that's ideal. And hopefully he still attacks. Then what I want to do is I want to grab Zeltothios over here and request the army. And then, of course he moved in the wrong direction, we will want to march stance him over to take Gronti Mingle for us. We'll suffer a little bit of attrition, but then we'll give him back afterward, or we'll attack Ekrund, I haven't decided. This may be the time to declare war on the Bloody Hands, finally. Then... we still have another issue, which is up here. Aldous is about to get attacked by Hamathane Frost. Really preparing for the next turn here. You will probably want to summon some stuff. Well, summon all the basics you can. See how much money we have left after this. And obviously the Corpse Card with Unholy Lodestone. And, well, that didn't actually cost that much. And we have 9 spaces left here. Alright, ghouls it is. A couple of doggos, another corpse card. You know what? Get the Balefire corpse card. Screw the regular corpse card, I think. Although, depending on how many entrances they attack, and once again, it depends on which area. Alright, take a couple direwolves. Do we need bats here? They do have some Marauder Horse Masters, but the Horse Masters wouldn't be phased by bats. Honestly, I think the bats wouldn't be that helpful in this situation. Let's instead take... another corpse cart and another direwolf? I doubt that they'll attack. And if they don't, then Ranky can just trade his army and then we'll be good. You know what we could do? We could summon the Konigstein Stalkers as well as the Tithe, since we don't need them anywhere, but to keep the Feasters in the Dusk out. And there you go, that should be more than enough. A little bit of cash, but just to preserve this and not have to re-colonize the place. Okay, you know what, fine, get the one bat. Now you know what? Screw it, no bat. No bat. We actually want them to attack to some degree, so let's have them do that. And then you have glittering scales, which I guess you can keep for now. Oh, did I get you the gravedigger? Yes, I did. Okay. Was worried for a second there that we had just wasted a 7% dark favor on that. Dark favor, dark income, dark magic. Dark something. Too damn many different factions have different names for it. Have they updated the orc income to actually show teeth? Or is it still gold? Better be teeth. Okay, well, that's it for that. We're just about ready to go to next turn and probably get attacked everywhere. Just want to double check that there's nothing to build here. Fort Stragov, we're going to trade you at Castle Alexandrinov. Same goes for you. Argalis. Perhaps we should start building walls here. Rafrafa needs an upgrade. Oh, and as I recall, the high place... No, World's Edge Archway needs an upgrade, but we can't afford it now very, very slightly. Which is concerning because Warpatek is here, and his army is pretty decent. May have to try to ambush stance and have Peter destroy him. We'll see. Okie dokie, well then Argalis, we're gonna go with either you or one of these locations, and if we can't do that, then Argalis it is. Or actually walls may be more important. Alrighty, and we'll save the rest of the cash. We obviously need to delete a couple of our armies, otherwise we're wasting too much money. We need to develop several territories. Anyway, with that, we're ready to go. Let's end the turn, and let's see where we get attacked. We got an ambush, we got several locations where we summoned lords. Potential for lots of fights, if the AI isn't a coward about things. Hopefully Mash doesn't jump over Maldwin and try to go for these things. And you are what? Oh, you're going for Iron Rock? Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. We don't actually want this, and I don't think that we can... Yeah, we can't hold it. The problem is the Death Mortars and the Rattling Guns will just destroy everybody, so let them have it. We don't really need it right now, and we'll retake it shortly. Let them go for Karak Azul, or let them die doing other stuff. Thorgrim just got Really? Really, auto-resolve? Really? Are you kidding? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Okay. Sure. Let's just quickly do this. I get that he has a few elite units, but seriously? Okay. I guess Thorgrim will be hard to kill if nothing else, and oh, this is actually the last, this is the remains of this faction. They're dead after this. They're dead for good. Let's make it happen. Alright, everybody back. Send the single entities. And summon some zombies with them as well. Group, let's have you all together. Say group 2. And group 1. Like so. And start battle. And let's get an invocation of Nehek. Wait, you can Black Parry up to then overcast your invocation of Nehek. Heal at least a few of these units. And there we go. Some will heal faster than others, but then you can... Well, actually, we could just speed this up and allow the Mortis Engine. Now victory's in our grasp. Now victory's in our grasp. I guess because everybody's healing. Sure, game. Sure. Yeah, I just want to wait a little bit for our Mortis Engines to heal everybody, because once they all run, they'll just run off the edges of the map here. It's an opportunity to heal everybody up to nearly full HP, after all. Also, while we're here, Thorgrim, what's your magic resistance, spell resistance? It's actually only 35. Ain't so great. Which means you should be able to Spirit Leech you. And everybody else, group up, move forward, let's say here. Alright, here we go, and the Engineer's gonna start doing a little bit of damage, but they actually have no, they have no range, do they? Alright, well, start with the Spirit Leech. And then, oh, actually they do have one unit of range, which we will deal with in a second, but I want the breath on the Hammerers, please. This is their most elite unit after all. There we go. Let's see how much damage that is. Well, not quite half, but it's something. And then you can drop some zombies on these guys. How's group 2? Coming from this side, I think. Get ready to drop more zombies. It's such a waste of time, but what can you do? Now here's a question. Can we force the enemy to blob up so we can hit them with a Wind of Death or something? We can also hit the other... I'd love to drop another set of zombies. You know what, maybe this is time for a Wind of Death. It's not going to do too much, but if we can clip this unit of miners as well, or maybe even this unit of giant slayers. Ah, they're moving now. Alright, drop another set of zombies right here. Let's see if they blob up. And you guys are moving entirely too slow. What exactly do you have here in this army that's moving slowly? Oh, you have the corpse guard. Right, okay, well, that makes sense. Alright, get ready to hit those hammers. In fact, Dobby, hit those hammers. Screw it. Let them get distracted by zombies. Honestly, this is time for another dragon breath either way. We don't even need to breathe on the hammerers, though. Let's perhaps breathe on the giant slayers, because they're the most threatening unit to several of our units. Like so, zombies come up, should stop the giant slayers somewhat in their tracks. Be careful to you. Oh wow, you guys are really moving through that unit, ain't you? Alrighty, and then dragon breath. Oh wow, they're chasing. They're completely ignoring the zombies. Oh, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. Frickin' AI. How dare you, AI? Game would never allow the player to do something like that. It would force all of its units to get engaged. Oh wow, the hammers are ripping apart our poor White King. Not that we really care about him, mind you, but still, it's the principle of the thing. You know what? You guys move away. Let's breathe on those hammerers. I'm gonna move a little bit, and then as soon as the breath is in, there you go. Now, kill the rest of them, Blackberry up, please, and then buff everybody up. Let's get a Spirit Leech on Thorgrim. Let's get another zombie over the ranged units. And then let's have you buff everybody up, and heal, I guess, the White King. And more zombies. Alright, you. And go for the Overcast right there. And then land on that Master Engineer. Nothing crazy, but it'll work. It'll work. Ooh, be careful with the corpse cart, though. It'll get killed by Thorgrim very quickly if we let it. Keep away. Keep away. Heal the corpse cart, please. We need more zombies on the field. There you go. Alrighty, you just stay away from those. And you know what? Let's send one of the Mortis engines over to this side. And summon another unit of zombies. Mortis engine out there, please. Oh yeah, Thorgrim's hurting damn Mortis engine. Everybody just ignore Thorgrim, please. Kill units, ignore the Lord. This army isn't particularly adept at dealing with that sort of thing. Then let's have another breath on the Zolthar's Rangers. Might hit a few of our own zombies, but you know, who cares. Alright, ignoring the zombies. Unselect those, keep killing the infantry. Zombies, keep killing that. There we go. Group 2. Alright, chase that down, kill that Master Engineer and Spirit Leech Thorgrim. He will be the last on the field shortly. And he'll just be wasting his time fighting zombies. Could have also sent in our second corpse cart, but you know, it probably would have gotten killed. Alright, it's time to speed this up. There's probably better battles waiting for us just after this. And this is an underway interception, so the battle's over and the faction is dead. Let's also heal up just briefly here. You guys, you can get a healing potion, you can heal here, and you can heal here, and everybody else, max speed. Nobody's reached their healing cap, they'll all be at full HP, and now. Lovely. Now, I don't remember, did Pete defeat, I think Pete defeated Thorgrim last time, right? It wasn't Bathilda, was it? Because if it wasn't, then she just got another 10% research for us, which is always valuable. Yeah, that one took entirely too long, but, well, he did have some elite units. Too bad we can't heal the infantry. Alrighty, and I don't care about the Scarecrow banner. Let us heal our infantry very slightly. Alright, now. More battles, please. Where's Smash One Finger? Durthu, what you want? Oh, that I was not expecting. I was expecting it to become friendlier. What does he not like? Huh. Nothing appears to have changed. Strategic threat is the same. But now he dislikes us even more. Is it perhaps because Pirates of Sartosa are dead? Well, if he attacks us, he attacks us. Wouldn't be able to do too much about it. You want us to join Morgan's clan Ferric. I don't even know where they are, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Actually surprised that they're still alive. Drake has been wanting us to do that for a while. And yes, okay, that was perfect. It was indeed enough for MASH to continue the attack. And all we need here is the zombies and hopefully our lord. We're gonna fight this one cinematically. It'll be a quick one nonetheless, but I feel like it could very well be a fun one just by virtue of holding ground with the zombies. So let's get to it. Alrighty, well, here we go again, though this time it is not Rudy attacking this settlement, but rather us defending it. And once again, against just a giant pile of savage orc boar boys, though a lot less trolls than we encountered last time. And contrary to any previous times, we are going to be sitting right in the center of this particular location. Just a massive amount of zombies and skellies to hold the line against the enemies, and hope that the one tower that we have access to, which is going to be here, can do enough damage while the enemy tries to approach. We also do have Maldwin on his Hellsteed now, so he is able to reposition himself should he need to do so, though he does have a distinct lack of damaging skills, so we're going to have to rely solely pretty much on the tower plus his skills in melee. Let's also see whether the enemy decides to attack us from one direction or from both directions. Obviously one would be ideal, as the enemy would then be forced to blob up, and it does seem that the enemy has deployed all of their pile of Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins on one side, which may work out pretty well for us, as it would potentially allow us to sally out the other side of the main settlement area. Alrighty, it looks like the trolls are going in first and by themselves, which is kind of interesting considering the Biggins should have been there first due to their speed. And the trolls have a lot, and I mean a lot of zombies to get through before they get to quite a bit of skeletons as well. And we also have to, well, presumably that the enemy does not end up attacking on this side. We have all of these extra units to draw and push into this side as well. We are also nearing 2,000 supplies, at which point we will be able to start building our tower here. And though the enemy will start breaking through our ranks of zombies by then, once again it'll take them quite a while by the looks of it. Plus, they'll get tired out killing all these zombies, which once again, as we've seen in previous battles, has been pretty darn effective. Alrighty, well, you guys keep slaughtering those zombies and go deeper and deeper into their formation as you like. I'm sure it'll work out well for you. But damn, that's still a lot of Boar Boy Biggins. Imagine a Pit of Shades, or even a Wind of Death right through this formation. Wouldn't that just be grand? A single damaging spell would have probably ended this particular battle, I don't know, 10 times sooner, and would have guaranteed our win. Alrighty, well, they're very slowly making their way through. The first of the zombie units is down to about 25%-ish, though our tower at tier 4 is going to be coming up. If we can get it to actually fire on the enemies, as in if they can advance far enough where it can actually get a shot on them, because obviously it can't fire through this building. But I would be curious to see if it could fire through this little angle here. I guess we'll see shortly. And there's the River Troll Hag. And where is their lord? Pretty sure he should be here. Oh, he is right beside the River Troll Hag. Just couldn't spot him. I think that he'd be towering over the rest of those units, but it's that's him, I take it. Alrighty. Is the tower up here? And indeed the tower is up. Let's see if it can actually fire on anybody or anything. Just out of curiosity, if nothing else. There's still plenty of way for the enemy to go. Or distance for the enemy to go. Yeah, it doesn't look like the tower can fire through this particular angle. A little bit disappointingly, I do wish that it could at least fire in this very narrow range here. That wouldn't be overpowering the tower. Who builds towers like this? Oh well. It's almost like this tower was specifically designed to fire on top of this particular location rather than on the approaches to it, as in the choke points to it, which is, does seem kind of unfortunate. Anyway, our Lord has landed. He's going to be going after Mash One Finger, try to kill the enemy Lord, especially while said enemy is distracted. He's also going to be popping as many zombie summons as he can, mostly to separate the River Troll Hag and Mash One Finger from the rest of their forces, as obviously we don't want our Lord in the middle of the enemy Boar Boy Biggin formation, as he would probably die fairly quickly in that case. And man, I expect it's going to take a long time of this stalemate. Let's check back on what the enemy Lord is like. He's actually at half HP, or a little bit lower, and our own Lord has taken half damage as well. Quite a good job to mash, I gotta say. On the face of it, it seemed like his stats are a fair bit worse than ours, but he's doing a pretty good job. Though, to be fair, the River Troll Hag is lending him a hand, so it is Hero and Lord versus a Lord here. And we're just gonna back off and heal up a little bit before moving back in. We can also wait for the enemy Lord and River Troll Hag to move deeper into our formation of zombies and hopefully separate themselves a little bit from the enemy force. And there we go, back into it now. Trying to drop Mash, and ooh, it looks like our tower can almost fire. It looks like the building is still blocking shots, but we're nearly there. Oh, I hate the damn camera. It keeps popping up because of the buildings. Can't spin it around. Ooh, and it looks like the River Troll Hag has approached closer. I do think that this should be in range of the tower. Might actually start dropping a few shots on it. There we go. Alrighty, that should make it very much easier. And where is that enemy Lord? Where are you, Mash? He's still in there, okay. And now that our tower is firing, now that we found where the angle of fire begins, we are ready to get some of those skeleton spears into the pile of zombies, summoned and otherwise. And man, just the sheer press of units here, just zombies and skeletons in absolute mass, blocking so damn many of these units. And honestly, even if they had separated into two, they would have basically encountered the exact same situation and wouldn't have been able to do much, which certainly works for me. Alright, and how's that damage on the River Troll Hag? Basically no damage to her at all, though I do imagine she does have troll regeneration. Yes, indeed she does. Though the war boss, not so much. So he will die eventually, especially once we get our Lord back in there. I'm almost tempted to speed this up a little bit, because we've seen the stalemate quite long enough, I think. Let's speed it up for a few seconds as the enemy approaches a little bit closer, or at least until our Lord gets deeper into the formation. The River Troll Hag also continues wasting all of her spirit leeches on the zombies rather than on anybody useful like our Lord, or perhaps even the skeleton spears. Alrighty, and it looks like now the enemy's making some headway. They've gotten a little bit deeper into the formation and opened up a little bit of a clear space around their Lord and the River Troll Hag, allowing for more units of those Boar Boy Biggins to close. Of course, the further they get here, the more likely they are to suffer splash damage from our tower, so it's hardly a point of complaining. Alright, get a few more hits in there, tower, please. There you go. Do wish it could fire into the center mass here, but as we can see, a lot of the units are now dropping. They've dropped to about 15%, or by about 15% HP each, I would think. On average, at least. Man, we can hear all their the hits of their swords, but the zombies are so eerily quiet. And actually, I would think that the orcs would be screaming a lot more. Yeah, there you go, that's a little better. Alrighty, well, especially now that they're fighting the skeleton spears, who are a little bit more threatening with their actual access to anti-large. Alrighty, and the space here in the center is getting bigger now. The enemy is getting closer and closer to our key building, though they still have quite a ways to go, and we do still have additional zombie summons, as we can see, moving into the space. So I summoned that time because I wanted to get our Lord fighting the enemy Lord once more. Should really try to work on, you know, bringing him down as soon as possible. And just for the morale shock to the enemy army. Plus, I imagine that he's doing most of the killing together with the River Troll Hag, as compared to the regular units, even against the zombies, just because he does considerable damage and splash. Oh, and I just realized that the von Carstein's red shield, even if it doesn't match the rest of the outfit, does certainly look very matchy and nice when using the Hellsteed, because of the color of its wings as well as its barding. Which certainly works, and let's see, looks like the enemy lord is just about done with about 1 or 2 hits remaining on him, 260 HP. So at least there's that, and the enemy has not yet made it to the capture point. Still plenty of skeletons and zombies and summons to go, and even a few reinforcing forces potentially, should we require them. Alrighty, and that lord still 261 HP, just gotta land 1 more hit there, buddy, and we'll be good. Or at least with regards to the death of the lord. Maybe not yet good with regards to winning this battle. Alright, come on, I want to see that death animation. There we go. Man, if only we had had a corpse card in here. Would have been really helpful. And I mean real helpful. Oh well, next time. Probably could have summoned one. And now that we're good, it's time to get to work on that River Troll Hag. But let's speed it up once more a little bit, otherwise this battle's gonna last like 50 million years. And oh wow, Troll Hag. Taking just a few hits immediately routed. Well, trolls do have pretty low leadership, so that isn't necessarily surprising. Perhaps, yeah, you know, now I regret going after the Lord first. Should have gone after the Troll Hag, forced her to rout, then chased her down and gone back after the Lord afterwards. Mostly because, obviously, it would have gone faster this way, and she wouldn't have been able to continue spamming that Spirit Leech. And very, very slowly making our way through our formation here, while the Lord keeps on stabbing her in the back, and it looks like the Troll Hag will drop shortly. And that'll be both their Lord and Hero gone. We can even make some use of our doggos here. There we go. Well done, dire doggos. Lots of bones for you to chew there. And let's check back on the enemy here. The balance of power is still in their favor, but their army has dropped to nearly half of its power on top of the Lord and Hero being dead. I now at this point have built another magic tower here and would like to capture the minor supply location on this side as well. In that light, we're going to move our Lord over there, who obviously is a flying unit can't capture, and then we're going to follow him with the doggos to capture the location. I just wanted to see if we were to land here or bring another unit over there, would the enemy react in any way, or would it not? And it does appear that the enemy doesn't want to react, so we will be moving our dire doggos there. There's still the Lord there to summon zombies in the way of the enemy, just in case they do react to this in some way. But the reason to do this is because there should be another tower, I think it's here perhaps? And if we build it, it can summon fire right into the back of this blob. Really, if the enemy hadn't captured that point, this battle would have gone so much easier. And once again, our tower is still smashing shots into those trees. Man, they even had to build trees here to block the shots of the tower. Like, look how narrow the frickin' firing range of this is. It's pretty ridiculous considering that these trees can block it. Terrible tower placement, but you know, that's nothing unusual. And there we go, at least when it lands, hits, well actually no, that hit was in the middle of our own formation, didn't hurt the enemy. But the enemy's still slowly dying to the power of skeletons and zombies. And there we go, looks like some of those Boar Boy Biggins are starting to rout, and the rest are all at about half HP. Splash damage coming in from the tower, and that last capture point or supply location also in the process of being captured. And they haven't really gained too much ground, still have not reached the main point, and we still have emergency zombies that we can summon. Oh, it looks like those trolls are either back or are still in here, eh? A little bit surprising there. Thought they would have bailed just like the River Troll Hag, and there we go. Looks like the tower's getting some nice hits now right into the center of their line, and they're looking pretty bad. Balance of power has shifted and is now either very slightly in our favor or otherwise perfectly even. And when it's perfectly even with the AI, generally you would think that that means it's very much in the player's favor. Man, is it me or the army not producing enough noise? I mean, sometimes it feels like the battle is too loud mid-fight, but then here it feels too quiet, weirdly enough. It really does depend on where the camera is, though, for some reason. And there we go. Very suddenly the army decides to all turn away. There's still quite a few of them left alive. We're going to summon some zombies in their way to try to stop them and send the doggos in to kill as many of those units as we can, because obviously otherwise we'd have to catch up to them. But there we are, and oh wow, it's so much lighter on this side than... Huh. Yeah, it's a lot darker viewing from this side than it is from this side. Interesting, I guess because of the way the light falls. I wish we could have seen the battle like this instead, but it's okay. The glow in the balefire glowing in the eyes of the zombies and the skeletons looks very nice over there. And anyway, we blocked the enemy off. We're going to continue making use of our towers, now 2 to 3 towers firing at them all at the same time while we try to trap the rest. We're also going to speed this up to max because I think we've seen enough of this particular battle, funny as it was. And at least this means that we don't have to get Rudy or somebody to come back here and deal with Mash One Finger. That's ideal. Hopefully we also don't have to deal with Ikit personally with a massive army, though his force is very much elite and would have made quick work of this defense, to be perfectly honest, just because of the Doom Wheels and, well, the nuke, but even discounting the nuke, the Doom Wheels and whatever else he has. Or does he have a bunch of Doom Flares? I don't remember. We'll check it afterwards. And there we go, a heroic victory, but considering we've won against similar armies, I'm not particularly surprised in that one, though the tower placement here was much worse than the last battle we fought Mash One Finger in. Useless Dragonbane gem again, but, well, once again, poor AI. I always feel bad for it in those similar situations. We could heal and destroy this army for good in theory, but we don't even need to. I mean, if they try to attack with what they have left, they just fail and die, so I think we'd rather take the money, even if it is quite little. And then we can make Maldwin go away as well. Ah, and there we go. It looks like Hama is going to attack as well. Well, we'll fight this one cinematically too, and just hope for a similar result. It does depend on which particular map Castle Alexandrinov is, but it's not like they have mammoths or anything, which is good because we don't have a... we don't have Blood Knights ourselves to be the ringers, though we do have the Königstein Stalkers, which are poison and probably pretty okay here. Let's get to it. Alrighty, another day, another battle, and it looks like if Aldous wins this one, I guess we'll have to keep him around. He's gained too many levels at this point to let him go. Plus, he's got his mount now, as a proper blood dragon should. Good job, buddy. And I'm glad he keeps both his swords on the mount. Although I suppose a shield could be useful in many situations, especially if he were mounted on a dragon rather than on the steed, and possibly would be useful on the Hell Steed as well, just for a little bit of that extra defense. Anyway, fortunately for us, the enemy has deployed basically on only one side to make use of 2 choke points. It would have really benefited from trying to deploy everywhere else at the same time, though we would have then defended these choke points. They could have increased it to 4 instead of 2 at the very least. Although potentially we could have just defended in a massive blob like right here. Either way, once again, we're going to do our best to tire the enemy out. Massive amounts of zombies backed by corpse carts, as well as a few skeletons that are going to just hold the enemy, tire them out, and allow us to build our towers. The first one will be coming up shortly. I don't remember where, but ultimately it's not relevant because we have decent tower placement. Here, potentially, and then here, which may even be able to attack both locations at once, depending on how blocky these buildings are. Either way, we're going to start this battle off, unlike the battle against Mash One Finger, with a Wind of Death moving through the giant pile of enemies here. One of the greatest things about actually having these choke points, and on top of that, actually having a defensive spell, or not a defensive spell, a offensive spell, that's the opposite sort of, to drop upon the enemy. And as we can see, since the enemy has only collided with our zombies, look at the damage that that one spell did. It was quite a bit. It basically destroyed all those doggos, killed a unit of marauders and a unit of marauder hunters, as well as marauder spearmen. Once again, right through that blob. Though I do have to wonder if it would have done more damage if we had set it up to go like this, rather than up through the entire formation, because it would have bounced like this off the wall and through their formation again. Hard to say. It wouldn't have clipped the cavalry in that situation, though, that's for sure. Anyway, it looks like the enemy lord is on this side as well, so there's potential to get Aldous in there, and though we are going to keep waiting with a few units that aren't, you know, garbage units, the elites like the Tithe and the Konigstein Stalker. Even though the Tithe isn't really elite per se, it is a regiment of renown nonetheless. We're free to use all the hurt garrisoned units to take as much damage as they can, because they'll just recover and there's no loss. Though to be fair, the entire army is sort of like that because we just summoned it. And it was a cheap one at that. Alrighty, Aldous is now in, trying to go after the enemy lord, as well as the occasional skin wolf if he can. Of course, the skin wolves are anti-large, and the lord will do some armor piercing, so we do have to be careful about getting Aldous too hurt here. Alrighty, well, they can keep making their way through skeletons and zombies, just like last battle. We don't see too much trouble with that. Sure, the balance of power is technically in their favor, and many a zombie and skelly will die, but over time we will get more and more towers on the field, and the enemy will start losing units to splash damage spam. Alrighty, and the first of the towers will be up shortly. Where will it be providing its support? I would imagine here, because it seems like it has the better angle here, but I could be wrong. Alright, there we go. Yes, and it is firing this way, and of course the first hit landed into our own units, but it does seem apparent that it can at least fire this way. I think this is one of the only times I ever used the corpse cart with balefire, which imbues fire and magical damage, I believe. Let's see, we got 35 meter range, duration infinite, affects all allies in range, imbues flaming attacks, magical attacks. Huh. Actually, interestingly enough, I don't see the imbuement of fire and magic on anything here. Everybody seems to be affected by Vigor Mortis, though, as we can see the buff on them. The buff being, wait, let me just double check here. 5 melee defense, 5 melee attack, yeah. That looks about right. But I definitely don't see imbuement. Do you have to be in range or something? Passive ability, Hex of the Winds, affects all allies in range, 35 meters. Doesn't say you have to be engaged in melee or anything like that. Odd. That's why I never use those. Honestly, I would have thought that these things might be fairly useful with fighting against demons, for example, just to increase the magical damage done. Certain possibility there, and oh, another Wind of Death coming in, and this one did the bounce. To be honest, it did seem to do roughly similar damage, so I'm not sure which was the better option. Though, of course, the giant pile of units here would have been whittled down some as compared to the units that were moving information here earlier. So, once again, it is kind of hard to say. Konigstein Stalkers are in here as well to provide that poison damage that they provide, which is really quite helpful. And now this is going to summon a few zombies to block the enemies off. As we can see, the balance of power has also shifted in our favor now. The enemy lord is at half HP, and a lot of units are damaged on both sides. I imagine that Aldous, through his 2 uses of Wind of Death, would have probably done the most damage by far. 181 kills and 62,000 damage for this defense. The rest of the army is just here to hold the line while he does the damage together with the splash towers. And ooh, wow, lots of enemies exploded into bloody bits from that hit from the tower. Very nice. And it's starting to look like the enemy is not going to be able to achieve too much more here. And there we go, our corpse card with Balefire is in here now. I'm still not seeing the imbuement, although maybe imbuement isn't displayed directly, but then how are we supposed to tell? Wait, no, don't fiery attacks set enemies on fire so they would have burning on them or something? Or just on fire, and I don't see that anywhere. Considering I've never used Balefire corpse cards because I've always thought that you just use Unholy Lodestone, perhaps I'm not entirely sure how they work. And in fact, if this Balefire corpse card gets ripped apart by all those ranged units, maybe we don't care all that much. They really don't seem to like it very much, judging by all those javelins, though we are going to back it off a little bit. We would also be concerned with our lord getting hit by javelins as well, as that would be much worse. Anyway, we do now have another tower up here as well, and we've also moved a bunch of our doggos. Recall that we did summon quite a few of them into the sides here, ready to hit the enemies as soon as they break. And judging by how much the enemy has been able to get through, which it ain't a lot, it does look like they will break eventually. We have, however, moved both the Tithe as well as the Konigstein Stalkers in, mostly just to start distracting the enemy further and getting ready to move in. It's only a matter of time now. I suppose at this point we can probably confidently say that the battle is ours. There's just no way they break through, and before they take way too much damage from the towers. Though towers, if you shoot like this at nothing, then, well, that may change. Oh, and it does seem that this middle tower can indeed shoot the enemy, because we just saw a hit coming in. As in, shoot the enemy on this side as well. Nice. Also seeing a lot of those axes that were apparently flying towards this corpse cart hit the enemy lord. And as that balance of power, looks like the enemy lord is at least wavering, starting to take damage, despite our own lord still being on this side, killing all the skin wolves. And there we go. Looks like the enemy is routing on both sides. Time to give chase, and time to send all of our doggos in. At the same time, to hunt them down. Also, I do apologize about all my chair squeaking. Now that looked painful. Alright, let's watch the doggos do a little bit of work, but then we'll speed it up afterwards, not to worry. Alrighty, and I also just double-checked whether anybody reported the bug with the Balefire corpse carts not working, and indeed somebody has reported it, and CA said they were investigating it. Still exists in this version, I suppose, but honestly not relevant, because I wasn't super likely to use it unless defending specifically against the demon army, where we could make good use of that imbuement, or I suppose an army that has a lot of fire damage, which would want us to get the fire or wait, does it even imbue? Yeah, it imbues fire resistance as well, doesn't it? So yeah, it certainly has a couple of use cases, but generally speaking, it'd probably go for that Unholy Lodestone instead, or perhaps combine them once again in said unique, relatively, use cases. Anyway, there we go, a close victory this time, but once again, all these summoned units don't really matter, and it looks like we'll be safe here, at least for now. Well, there we go again. It seems the power of Raised Dead has not yet waned, and may even have gone a little bit overboard on the Raised Dead here prior, although once again it didn't cost us a ton of cash, and on top of that, it was all basic units and stuff, so not a big deal. We don't need to heal because most of these units are going to be gone in a few seconds. Let's get return captives for the extra cash. We'll just destroy this army real quick, and he has nowhere to run either. Summon Raised Iron Rock, but we knew that was going to happen, so that's just fine. Durbok, you're still alive. Okay, that's kind of annoying, but you can't attack. And yes, Bathilda did get the research rate. Ooh, and the construction cost reduction on her is actually quite useful as well, now that I think about it. Faction destroyed both Nakai and... oh wow, okay, things are happening. A lot of things at the same time. Okay, game, enough of the announcements, but thank you. I do appreciate it. What are you doing? What are you doing, Grizguts? Okay, well, Grizguts is dead, and we'll take care of him next episode. Let's just make sure that this is done for good. Renki, you are going to march stance here. Aldous, you're going to finish off Kalgakil. And we'll join these armies together, and then delete one, obviously. Auto-resolve this. Lovely, and then you can go return captives some more. Beautiful. Now, are you able to get back to Castle Alexandrinov? Yes, indeed you are. Alright, so back to Castle Alexandrinov you go. Then, oh, another student. Well, that's just swell. You are not going to carry a student, but your Necromancer, presuming that we can get you a decent one, will... we could get another Spirit Leech sort of Necromancer, especially since you don't have Spirit Leech. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with you. Siegfried Posner, you can carry the student, as well as whatever other ancillaries we end up giving. Oh, wow, we have two students that we got somehow. Okay, my bad. We need to give that to yet another Necromancer. Assuming that we actually find an... Ooh, you need to steal tech immediately, but where from? You need to lose your corpse card as well while you're at it. Okay, it looks like we're going to the lair of the Troll King, as these things are all going to be destroyed in a few seconds. Up to the lair you go. And then since you've lost steel tech, are we back up to 2? No, this is still at 1, at the very least, so that's not bad. We're still at 415. Just gonna have to increase it a little bit further. Let's go for this one, Invoke Animalistic Hunger. I don't really care about the actual upgrade. It's just because it's only gonna take 1 turn, and you can't reduce it any further, whereas others can be reduced. And once again, I just prefer to do it that way. Alrighty, so that's you, and then we need to apply that extra student, let's say to you, right here. Lovely. Okie dokie, then these armies. Renki, I know you're level 13 now, but honestly, Haldus is basically caught up, so that doesn't really matter that much. We also will be wanting to raise a few things, but we can't raise them here. I guess we'll have to move Aldous back to Fort Straghoff, at least temporarily, to do so. So, Renki, move in, and... well, let's see. Well, we obviously don't need the zombies here. Aldous, you can keep at least 2 units of doggos for now, I think. In fact, wait. First of all, take the Graveguard. Maybe 1 ghoul, just temporarily. Take both the corpse carts with Unholy Lodestones. You know what? Take the 3rd corpse cart with Unholy Lodestones. This army is going to have a pretty massive melee line for now. And we're going to delete the Tithe, because we mostly don't need it here. I'm tempted to delete the Konigstein Stalkers as well, because they're not going to stay in this army. But you know what? Maybe keep them for now. And then delete them later. And yeah, keep the ghoul. But actually, yeah, keep these guys. Take out the skeleton warriors. Let's take a couple skeleton spears. Let's get rid of the corpse cart. Oh wait, take you. Keep the 2 doggos. We get rid of 1, like so. And what are we at? 16. Anything else we want to take? No, it doesn't look like it. That looks pretty complete. I guess it's just all skeletons now. So 1, 2, 3, 4 skeleton spears to hold a line. Or perhaps we could just do at least 2 skeleton warriors. They're obviously all going to get replaced by Graveguard and by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wow, that's quite a few of these skeleton spears, ain't it? Is that too many? Wait. Wait. Like that. Because you're higher level than this guy. Yes, and... okay, now I think we're good. Alrighty, Aldous. Lots of Graveguard, lots of Skellies, and a few faster moving units, a massive amount of Corpse Guards for the purpose of healing those up. We're going to delete you once the Necromancer is here, but he ain't yet, so we'll do that when that happens. And of course he'll get more Graveguard and Black Knights and Blood Knights and stuff, but that'll be later. Renki, you're going away for now, buddy. Though I do have a feeling that you will return at some point. There we go, now we're back up to 13,000 gold per turn. Wasn't necessarily thinking of getting this army in here, but it may be necessary for a little while. We may want to sack a few things, and we may even want to send it down to deal with the Fecondites for a while. I don't like what's going on over here. Hopefully they start fighting the Empire. We shall see. Now, same thing sort of needs to happen over here to Vlad. We need to do several things. First of all, you... We need to get the Feasters in the Dusk in here. The Corpse Guard is going to get replaced by a Terrorgeist, and we're just going to keep it for now because you have too low of a level. So I guess we need to get rid of the unit of... Vargeists. Sorry, Vargeists. Like so. Actually, you know what? Keep them. Keep them for now. Because, well, yeah, let's just keep them. Let's do this. Let's put you into March stance. And actually, no, let's put you into regular stance. You're gonna go after Hell Pit next. Or Prague, rather. This is the Hell Pit. Or Grizguts, depending on who can actually reach it. Then, Vlad, you can actually move further, so I'll have you trade stuff. Like so. And let's take the 2 Blood Knights. Vlad wants those, and we'll take away the 2 Fellbats. Because we don't really need them here. Alright, perfect. Now, who can still move? Okay, Roderick can still reach, and so can Vlad. Although maybe we send Vlad up here to destroy the lair of the Troll King while Roddy moves down here, or we'll send Vlad to deal with Throt at Prague while Roderick moves on to Kislev. Although somebody needs to destroy the lair of the Troll King. I think, Is this attrition? Actually, it doesn't really matter. It isn't attrition. Alrighty, well, Vlad, I guess you can take this. No, you know what? Rod for the XP. We'll just use Vlad as a reinforcement. It's not so much that we need to, but... oh, wait, but then these guys are just going to recruit and grab Fort Strogov again. Yeah, you know what? Rod, you're going to deal with it yourself. Vlad, you're going north. Stay in our territory so that you don't suffer any more attrition. Like so. And I assume you can't raise your Terrorgeist here. Is Fort Ostrosk the place? No, I think it's Fort Strogov, the place where we can actually raise a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Ironically, we have more Blood Knights here. Well, that's for Aldous to take, and there's that Terrorgeist. But Rod, you can get that back after. Now you are going to delete one of these Fellbats, and you're going to get your Feasters in the Dusk. And I guess you could delete the other one and raise a Ghoul. No, you cannot, apparently. Okay, I don't have space for that. Now, you are probably going to have to fight this. The question is whether we have to do it manually or not. How much move space will we have after that? Will we be able to reach the Hell Pit afterwards? I can't quite tell. I'm just a little bit concerned that Throt will then immediately move out with his relatively elite army. This is not worth fighting because it's just a trash army and the ghouls will destroy it. Well, once again, I am worried. You know what? We might have to manually fight it just to reduce casualties so we can deal with Throt. But we'll have to deal with that next time. What else do we have that we can do this time? Rudy, your ambush unfortunately did fail. But it's not a big deal. You should be able to reach Skavenblight fairly shortly. In fact, wait, if you go into raiding stance... Can you go into raiding stance while in Skavenblight territory, like here?
Strike out.
Yes, indeed you can. Alrighty, so just move up to them, and then take out Skavenblight for ourselves. I think that there's gotta be at least a full stack here. And then we still have Icket to contend with as well, who is, looks like he's coming back to Fort Sol yet again. And I didn't upgrade it. But what can you do? We could raise a few ringers here to defend this, but I think we'll consider that at the start of next episode. Can't go overboard or they won't attack, of course. And then lastly, Zoltathios, you can't reach Granti Mingle in one turn, so we'll have to do it next turn. Why are you suffering attrition here? Oh, because we've corrupted everything here. What? No, we haven't. Oh, because this... Really? Oh, I never even considered this. When you take an allied army, the game considers it to be a vampire army. Oh, that's just dumb. Yeah, that's pretty damn dumb. Wow. Never considered that possibility at all. Oh well, that's fine. You are going to go into Granti Mingle next turn, but wow. This, all these dryads and treemen are considered to be vampires. I mean, I guess they're malevolent, but they wouldn't... I'm pretty sure out of the many creatures that you actually cannot turn into vampire in any way, dryads and treemen are probably one of them. Elves and dwarves are pretty iffy, but, you know, theoretically possible, but yeah, not so much with the dryads and the tree man. Anyway, I think with that we're going to call it. There's still lots of stuff to do. Pete's probably gonna have to go after warp attack or at least ambush while he tries to move near him and then move back around this way to deal with Black Crag. Bathilda will also have to figure out whether she moves to Black Crag herself or tries to go this way to deal with Ikit. Of course, we have the north freed up now, so we will be destroying Prague and Throt for good next episode, as well as moving out into Kislev to hopefully destroy or vassalize them by force. And of course, Vlad's going to just raise a few territories here so that afterwards he will be free to move south and try to start attacking the Fecondites, because there's a lot of decent territory here, and it's well, it's finally time that we start taking it. So stay tuned for more Vlad and Izzy. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.